Hi there, it's David on the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to talk a little bit about today is how we can make that improvement happen quicker. And I look at things I did as a junior golfer and the things that made the biggest difference to me. And the thing I'm going to talk to you about today is copying. Okay, if you think about it logically, even if you go and have a lesson, what are you asked to do? You're going to copy what the professional is asking you to change. And he's explained it in a way that hopefully then it makes sense to you why you've got to make that change and you start to see improvement. But I see other ways we do it. If you think in general life, you copy other people to do what you need to do to achieve the results that you want. And for me, one of the biggest sort of players that helped me the most was Nick Faldo. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use a little bit of what I learned from Nick Faldo's swing. And at the end, we'll also give you a little tip from another YouTuber who I think does an amazing thing on his lessons that he does on YouTube that I think you should copy. So we're going to promote somebody else today as well as myself. But let's go back to Faldo. What did Faldo do? Well, for me, what I learned from Faldo was the rhythm. Faldo had this rhythm, and I think for me as well, golfers of that era, it wasn't about all-out power. Faldo had this sort of rhythm going back to sort of the Ben Hogan idea of hit fairways, hit greens. And he wasn't the most powerful golfer, but he worked his way around a golf course. But what he had, for me, was this lovely rhythm in his swing. And that's what I copied. I copied this feeling that when he swung, he seemed to swing his arms up and his body would naturally turn, and then it was like he made a tiny little drop, tiny little shallowing of his swing as it came down. And what I felt then when I watched that, and it may not be what Faldo was trying to achieve, it's what I learned from it, is that it seemed to create this sort of in-sync movement where his arms connected to his body and everything then went through the ball correctly. So we're going to use this in 3 or 4 different shots today and show you how to develop this idea. And the big thing is, it doesn't have to be Faldo's swing. Find a swing that you go, wow, that's the swing I like. But here's the second important bit. Here's the swing that I feel I make, and it feels a little bit like that player. And nowadays with YouTube, you can go online and you can watch these guys' swings. Okay, if it is Faldo, if it is my swing. I had people copying my swing on the practice ground when I used to work at the driving range, and they said, look, it gave us the rhythm. It realised, yeah, I didn't have to hit the ball hard. So if my swing helps, use that. But if you've got somebody else, it might be Rose, it might be Rory, it could be any... I mean, I don't expect many of you it's going to be Tiger or DeChambeau because they look more powerful. But they're still exceptional golf swings. So if they work, it works. So let me go through what I was thinking with Faldo. Faldo, as I said, I've got a 75-yard shot here. I've just got a little gap wedge. And I would feel those arms swing back. And we talked so much about the body movement, but I always felt Faldo was very much the arms swung and the body reacted. Then he put his arms into position and again his body reacted. And it looked so in sync. I loved Faldo's swing because it looked so in sync. And you could see that sort of rhythm there as he went through the ball. And one of his best shots when he won, I think, the 1992 Open was a 4-iron or a 3-iron into the last. And he said it was probably the best swing he's ever made, under pressure. And again, he just trusted this rhythm. He trusted the swing that he developed. So let's hit 3 shots. All I'm imagining is Faldo's swing. Okay, it's not a powerful shot. Okay, and again, create that rhythm. And what I liked about that shot there was the contact. Everything in sync, the contact was lovely. Now, ball's gone a little bit right of where I want to go, so probably because I'm talking, I'm not focusing quite well on my aim. This shot really was because the rhythm was good. Because then the contact was good. All right, let's see if we can take that a step further and go a little bit more at the flag. I'm just going to imagine that rhythm again. And why I'm 3 feet. But this is important as well. A lot of my videos, I talk a little bit about remembering your best shots, remembering shots you've done before. And I can remember a wedge shot I played at the 18th hole, Purtis Heath Golf Club, and the rhythm was Faldo's rhythm. And it ended up, I didn't win the tournament, but it ended up 4 or 5 feet from the hole. I made a birdie. It was lovely. I think I shot 2 over for the day. It was never going to win, but that shot still sticks in my mind. Whenever I'm sort of a wedge distance away, gap wedge away, I remember that swing, okay? So I'm just feeling that rhythm. So I'm thinking arms go back, arms drop, connect to the body, and everything's in sync. We've put 3 balls on the green there. But because again I'm sticking to the same process, And although in my mind it wasn't as perfect a strike, it still gave me the result. So as I said at the start of the video, we're going to do this with 2 or 3 different shots, different clubs, but let's see if we can rehearse. And as I said, you do this, you'll make biggest improvement in your game because you'll start to get things in sync and start to see the different results that we want to see. So here's our second shot. We've moved from around about 75, 80 yards out to about 125 yards. And all I'm going to change is the golf club. Everything else stays the same. I think that's the important thing. When you watch these guys and they're really at their peak, they're not really changing that much. I'd say probably the only club sometimes they look like they're putting a little bit more into is their driver. But when you watch their iron play, it stays consistent. And what I always say with the swing that I've developed and what I learned from Faldo's swing always looked about what I'd call 80%. It never looked like he was on the limit. It was about 80% of what he probably could do, but that 80% gave him more control. So that's all I'm going to do here. You saw me hit those gap wedges. I've now got a 9-iron from 125 yards, but I'm going to imagine the same thing. I'm going to feel their arms, drop, connect, go through. That's all I'm imagining. I'm thinking, Nick Faldo is doing it for me. Okay, so all I've changed is the club. The idea of the swing doesn't alter. Lovely strike. Yeah, really happy with that. And the goal is, once you've done it once, do it again. That's the important thing. So let's do another one. Let's see if we can get the same idea, same again. From there, just keeping that rhythm. Nice and balanced, Faldo rhythm. And that's 2 balls, nicely going towards. Let's see if we can get the hat trick, see if we can get a third one. And then we'll change the shot again. But it's keeping this sort of mentality of the shot. That's what we're after. Keeping that process. Think of the rhythm. Think of the Faldo swing. And that's 3. All on the green. All doing what I want to do. But what I haven't changed, and this is why I think it works so well, if you can maintain the idea with sort of the feel of a rhythm of a shot you're good at. Now that might be, for me, the wedge shots seem to be my best shots. You might be better with the last club we're going to do. We're going to go with a hybrid. And if you've got that rhythm, take that into your other clubs. So everybody's different. Find that swing, find that feeling, find that copying sensation, and you will start to get success on the golf course. So we've now come to the 17th tee at Corinthians. It's a 200-yard hole, and we're going to do the same idea. We're going to do the same shot again. I've got my hybrid now. It's around about that number on a nice summer's day. And all we're looking for here is the Faldo rhythm, the idea that we're making that same shot. So I'm not changing anything. I'm feeling the arms go back. From there, the body turns. Get the arms dropping down in sync with what I'm doing from there. So we're going through that line as we go through the shot. Nice and balanced. Keep the same idea. Think Faldo tempo. Copy his swing. Okay, not quite as good that one. It's down there okay. All right, we won't be far off the green, but it didn't feel quite as good. And that's going to happen. I think that's really important to understand. You're never going to stand there and make every swing perfect. Look at the top players. They've not made perfect swings every time. But I know it works. And I think that's a really big thing to understand. Golfers, as soon as they do something wrong, what do I do? What do I change? Nothing. I've hit 3 good wedge shots, 3 good 9-irons. It wasn't far off that. It's probably ended up 20 yards short of the green. So we're just going to stick to that process. All in my mind, I'm thinking, arms go back, body reacts, feel the drop, feel that drop, connect, let it unwind. That's all I'm feeling. Copying his swing. Feel that rhythm. Much better shot. That'll be on the green. Okay, like we've done with all the shots, let's do a third one. And again, it's training your mind to do it again and again and again. And as I said, if it works, it will keep working. You'll have days it won't be perfect. That's why golf's so tough. Nobody wins every golf tournament. Okay. Keep the rhythm. Keep the Faldo tempo. And that was the best of the lot. And it's interesting because you may find certain clubs, you get the feeling with it easier. I always like my short wedge shots. That 70, 80 yard wedge shot is probably my favourite shot in golf. It's the most satisfying shot when you get the distance and the line correct and it stops right next to the hole. But it doesn't matter whether you do it with a hybrid or a wedge. If it feels right and it feels good, it gives you that inner confidence to think, that's what I can do. Now, let's go down to the bunker, and we're going to show you a little exercise I see from a fellow YouTuber that for me, I think is a really clever idea. And again, if you go and have a lesson, get the guy to do this in your lesson and you can copy it, see what happens. So here's our final way of seeing that biggest improvement in your game, and we're going to copy a little bit of an idea from Dan Grieve. And I love what he does in this, and he does it very much, it shows it up much more in bunkers because you make the mark. And what he does, he'll explain the shot, he'll go through the shot and he'll dig his feet in and he'll get set up and he'll execute the shot to show his lesson what to do, and it'll come out and it'll be good. But here's the real key thing he does. He then gets his lesson, he'll call them in and he said, right, put your feet where my feet were. So what are you doing? You're creating a copy of exactly what he did. It's such a clever idea. He does it with his chipping, he does it with his bunker play, and now he gets his lesson to stand in the same spot. Whereas he may have seen them too far open or close or in a bad position, they now are basically copying what he's doing. It's such a clever thing. So what I would say to you guys, if you go into a bunker and you play a good shot and you see what your feet are like, try and get your feet back into that position. Okay, even if you need to put down little T-pegs in the bunker or T-pegs on the practice ground where you're hitting your pitch shots, do something to recreate that idea. Because if you can copy it, it's so good. It's such a clever idea. From there, I can just put my feet straight back into those marks again, play the same shot, and I've played 2 shots out of that bunker, both within 2 feet of the flag. So this is another way to copy. Okay, go and look at some of his videos. They are so clever because it allows you to understand what he's doing when he gets into that bunker. Okay, he understands where his feet are going to be when he plays the shots. If you do that, you're going to see big success. So for me, copying is a massive factor that will make a big difference to your game. Find a player that you like the look of, the feel of, the idea of his shot, repeat it, do it again and again and again. And you saw from me today, even that bunker shot was the same rhythm as Faldo. Whether I was playing a bunker shot, 75 yards, 125, 200, I didn't change that process. By copying it, it became consistent. By using a fellow YouTuber idea, again, it's a way that you can really see improvement in your game. Give it a go, give it a chance, see what happens. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please subscribe to the channel, please share this with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you soon.